Hey, Perfect Spirit. I'm Sam Shelley, and they call me the Miracle Man. Now, let's create a miracle in your life right here, right now. There's no time for delay. Let's do this. So, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I talk about getting rid of all that stress, the anxiety, the worry, all those stories that aren't serving you. They're not good enough, they're not worthy enough. All those beliefs just need to be thrown out. So, today I want to talk about fear. How is fear, gripping you, paralyzing you, preventing you from living your life? I know when I was a sick man dealing with the bipolar, the multiple sclerosis, everything else, I was always in the state of like, what else is going to go wrong? That was my fear. What else is going to go wrong? And something usually would go wrong because I was creating that reality, that we are the creators of our reality. This head trash will mold and create our reality. So we need to throw that stuff out, especially if we're living a life that's difficult, lots of suffering, lots of pain. It's probably rooted in head trash. So we need to throw that head trash out because that fear is causing a paralysis from you really living the life that you want to live. So that's the thing for me when I got rid of that belief that what else is going to go wrong. I wasn't helping reality be created that way. I wasn't creating that toxic environment. That's what the head trash really does. It creates a toxic environment. Lots of stress, lots of worry, lots of things that don't serve you from living your greatest good, your highest joy, all that stuff that's stealing happiness. So we're seeing lots of fear with the COVID going around, with all the news, especially around here in New York City, all the subway news creating more fear. Wherever we look, everybody's trying to instill more fear into us. But we got to see that this is just life. We don't have to give that power and just realize that life is filled with pain, suffering, trauma. That's just part of life. But it doesn't have to define us. It doesn't have to stop us. We don't have to live in a state of fear. We just simply need to let all this go, keep ourselves safe to the best of our ability, and really begin to trust ourselves. That spirit, the soul within you, doesn't know anything of this fear because it's a false fear. It's just coming from the story up here, playing the what if games, worried about the future, what's going to happen next. We don't need to concern ourselves with that. We just have to concern ourselves with being here in this moment. Then what's the next step for me to take in this moment to pull my life into a different direction, into a direction that I rather see it go. But this mind with fear will prevent you from making those necessary changes. Because we have to remember that the mind is comfortable with being uncomfortable. The mind doesn't care if the situation is undesirable, you're in pain, you're suffering, you're dealing with trauma. The mind doesn't care. It's a familiar pattern, it's comfortable. But we just have to see how that fear is stopping us, preventing us from living our greatest good, our highest joy, creating that abundance in our life. Because the mind will tell you those stories, don't do that, you don't have the skills, which will prevent you from growing, from expanding, from being abundant. But it's just really matter of just slowing down, realizing where all of our power is, right here, right now. It's not in the stories. So what story is creating fear within you? And how do we get out of this story is by being here in this moment. That the mind likes all this complexity. But life is rather simple. It may not be easy, but it is simple. If we could just follow our own heart, our own voice, and not get caught up in this mental paralysis of overthinking, playing the what if games, figuring things out, overthinking, why is this so? We need to let all that go and realize that life is just constantly one giant experiment and one giant experience, and we have hundreds of experiences. And it's constantly an experiment. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's have this new experience. Let's have this new experience. And really being that experience junkie, that we're here to learn, to grow, to thrive, to live the life according to our terms. But most of us are dealing with this fear, and it's a false fear. It's not real. You're not in danger. But maybe there is real danger. If there is, then you need to take care of yourself to protect yourself. But most of the danger is not real. Most of us are not being chased by gangs, by lions, tigers, dogs, whatever it may be. Most of us are not in danger. We're just thinking we're in danger because the mind's always trying to keep you safe. So it's giving you those fear stories to try to instill safety within you. And sometimes this fear being instilled is trying to prevent change. And it's very hard to change when you're in a state of fear. This is why it's so important to get rid of that head trash before you're facing a really serious life situation, some trauma. Because getting rid of that head trash when you're in the midst of something is extremely difficult. There's no way I could have gotten out of my head trash being newly diagnosed with MS. The mind was like a runaway train. But if I had those skills to slow down the mind, to be here in this moment, life would be completely different for each one of us. If we can rein it back, take control of that mind. But it just starts wherever you are. You don't need to read books on this, to watch videos. You just have to practice of where are my feet, where are my hands, what do I see, what am I touching, what am I experiencing in this moment, and letting go of all the stories that we have about this moment, what happened in the past, what might happen in the future. They're not serving you. All your power is right here, right now. So we need to do our best to be aware of this moment. And it's a practice. Some will get it quicker than others, and that's okay. There's no rules. There's no timeline when this has to be put into place. It's just a skill that develops over time. One step in front of the other step. So what is your fear? Comment below. Let me know what your fear is and how we can address it. For some, you have the fear of the past, of a past experience happening again. Maybe a difficulty, a trauma. Well, just realize that experience will not repeat itself. But if you keep focusing on that experience, it will repeat itself. Because you have to realize our thoughts, beliefs, and opinions are creating our present day reality. The mind will drag the past into the future and make it real. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between, imagination and reality. So if you keep thinking about something in the past, that's your imagination, and your mind will turn that into reality. Spirit will take that into reality. Because the universe is always saying yes to you. Oh, you want this. You keep thinking about this, so you must want this. That's the way it's perceived by the universe. So you become an energetic match for that past experience. So maybe it's that relationship that keeps repeating over and over again. Like different girlfriend, but yet same girlfriend. New job, still same finances. Because this mind keeps looping into these specific and certain patterns over and over again. So maybe write down, what are your fears? What's your phobias? And where's that stemming from? So learn to sit quietly. Let the mind settle in. And then bring that in a detached state, if you will. A non-emotional state. So you can look and examine that. To do some self-inquiry. And see why this still has power over you. Because all of our power is right here, right now, in this moment. But the mind is trying to steal that power away from you. Don't allow that. Bring yourself back into this moment to reclaim your power, to reclaim your divinity as perfect spirit, as consciousness, as one with all that is. You have this within you. You know that you know what to do, but the mind's creating confusion, all this head trash, all these stories. but we simply need to let that go by relaxing, to just relaxing into this moment, to being here in this moment. All right, well, I think that's it for today. Take good care of yourself, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.